So I just took a sweatshirt that I already have, and I'm thinking, you know what? I really want to embroider. This is a Kimberbell sweatshirt. And I thought, you know what? How cute would it be? Put our little tagline, experience the joy of creativity on it, right? The first thing you've got to do is open up that seam. Now, before you get too worried about that, it's not hard, I promise you. And you can zip it right up with either a sewing machine or a serger afterwards. But I just took my little trusty seam ripper here and just zip, 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 all the way down. Well, not all the way down, just about halfway to the end. By doing that, now you have a flat piece of fabric that you can hoop, right? But what I'm going to show you is floating. So floating is the ability to just, instead of hooping all your layers on together, you can actually just you can float your design on top of stabilizer and stitch your design. So I love the idea of floating, okay? But how do you get that sweatshirt, in this case, to stay on your stabilizer? Well, you could certainly, use a spray adhesive kind of thing. Whenever possible, I avoid spray adhesives. I don't like the smell, and they tend to gum up your needle. I would much rather float it on something we call a sticky back stabilizer. So Kimberbell does have two different kinds of sticky back stabilizers. We have what we would call a wash away. If you're not familiar with our slap bands too, here you go. This is how I organize and keep track of what's wash away, what's cut away, what's all the things, right? So this is my wash away sticky back stabilizer. And then we've got a tear away. We've got these in rolls as well as pre-cuts, but this is my sticky back tear away pre-cut. And then you'll also, if you're doing this on a sweatshirt or anything that has some kind of loft to it or is so soft that your stitches can sink in, I also use our wash away topper. Okay. All right. So how did I do this? Well, like I said, if you're doing a sleeve, I would do it in a 4x4 hoop. Okay. You just hoop your sticky back stabilizer, and it's going to have like a plasticky kind of filmy paper on one side. And then in this case, this is going to be a wash away, is on the back. Okay. To score the top of your stabilizer to remove the paper. I've scored it on 4 sides. And now I just peel that off. Okay. And when you peel that off, now you've got a sticker, right? Sticky back. Okay. So now I want to place this flat piece of sleeve on top of my stabilizer. Therefore, I'm floating it, right? I'm floating it, and then I'm going to stitch my design, but not so fast, because you might go, well, how do I know where to place it? Well, there's a couple things you can do. One of the things is, if you have, I'm going to show you with software and without software, okay? So don't worry. If you don't have software, no big deal, I promise you. But if you have software, a lot of times what you can do is you just can print out the design with the crosshairs right there, okay? So I printed this out, and I'm just going to quickly cut around all 4 sides. Easy peasy, right? And now I can place this onto where I want it. I can visually see like, oh, I want it to go here. I want it to go there, wherever, okay? And I can place that. I could take, a couple pieces of paper tape, and I could tape that on there just so that I know where to place this on my sweatshirt, right? So you're using the crosshairs. You can find the center, easy peasy. Oh my gosh, there's so many cute ones. You guys see, I've already printed You Matter and You Are Brave, Bold, and Beautiful, so I want to do them all on different sweatshirts. All right, so certainly you can do that. Now, some higher end machines will also have camera features that can help you get, where you want it and place it just perfectly. Some will have, different precision placement types tools. There's a variety of ways to do this, but I'm also going to show you that if I know this design, if I pull this design up and I know it's about, 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. I'm just going to round it up to 4 by 4. And I know that I want it to fit in a certain area. I'm just going to fold my fabric one way, vertically, and then fold it again horizontally. And I can either put a pin in the middle, or in this case, I'm just going to use like a chalk pin right here. And I could even press where I folded it so that I could visually see the crosshairs. All right, I'm just going to mark it really quick here. All right, and now I can go, oh yeah. So there's the crosshairs. That's where I want it to be centered onto my sweatshirt. There you go. Okay, so whether you have, a printout from your software and you can see the crosshairs right there, you place it there, or you can just fold it one way and the other. You can see your crosshairs there. But now, how do you put it onto your sticky back stabilizer? Well, I'm glad you asked. Something called centering crosshairs at Kimberbell. It's a free download. Okay, so we will put a link in the notes. Okay, centering crosshairs. We use this for everything. I mean, if we go to hoop a bag, tea towel, a towel, a sweatshirt, clothing items, anything that is hard to hoop, and we want to float it instead of hooping it, man, you're going to love the crosshairs. They can be used for anything, right? I could fold this in half on the crosshairs and match them up to this crosshair. Or, what's even easier? Oh my goodness. A nifty little thumbtack. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about, you guys. A thumbtack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place the thumbtack on the back side. This is the sticky side. This is the wrong side, okay? You can place it smack there in the middle. Do you see where that tack popped out, the pokey part of the tack right there? Yes. Then I can take my little sweatshirt and match my crosshairs and to the crosshairs on here, and do so very easily by matching up the little tippity tip of the thumbtack to my sweatshirt. Okay, so I've done that. And now, because I have a sticker, I'm just going to smooth it out. How easy was that? Now, my friends, let me say this really loud and clear. Don't put it on your machine yet until you take out the thumbtack. Take out the thumbtack. No one wants to embroider over a thumbtack. You only use that to place it. Because now that that's placed and that's stuck on there, now the nice thing is if you didn't get your crosshairs just right, you can take it off and try again. It's just a sticker. I'm going to drop my needle smack right down there, stitch my design, voila. Now, if I had my little paper on there, then again, that tack would just be going right through the paper. Let me put it in the back again. Tack in the back. I placed the tack in, and this paper was already taped on my sweatshirt because that's where I wanted it to go. And now my tack is right in the middle of those crosshairs. But again, you don't have to have this printout. You can do it just by folding your fabric one way and the other, getting your own crosshairs, right? Remove the paper, remove the tack. Then embroider. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention before I embroider. There's one other stabilizer you may want to try. If you've ever stitched on to a sweatshirt material or a terry cloth or a towel or something that just has a little bit more loft to it. And you don't want your stitches to sink down into it. You want them to rest on top of the sweatshirt instead of sinking down into it. Use a wash away topper. Okay, this is Kimberbell's wash away topper. You could also use our iron away, either way. Whoop. Put that on there first. Just cut off a little square, put it over where your stitch area is going to be. Now you stitch. Then you can just pull this off, iron it away if it's an iron away topper, or wash it away. That's my preferred method, is just to sprinkle it with a little bit of water and it'll just poof, disappear. And now your stitches are going to lay really nice on top of the sweatshirt instead of into the fibers of the sweatshirt. It's going to be awesome. And all you have to do is just put right sides together and zip, zip. You just stitch it up together, back that sleeve again, right? You just either stitch it with your sewing machine and maybe finish off the edge with a zigzag if you don't have a serger. But if you have a serger, I love my serger, you can just serge the edge and you would never even know that you opened it up. Easy peasy? Okay, so quick recap of what you would want. You would want a sticky back stabilizer, okay? We're going to give you a link for that here in the notes. You'd want a sticky back. If you want to float it, you want a sticky back, okay? If you don't have a sticky back, you could certainly like put it onto a regular stabilizer and pin it. I don't love that technique of pinning around there, but it's certainly possible. And then you want to download your free crosshair. You know what? Just keep it on your machine all the time. I just have my machine or my crosshairs file saved on my machine because I use it all the time. You'll love it. Use a wash away topper. That's all there is to it. All right. Well, that is my little tutorial. I hope you enjoyed that and learned maybe something new. I love that bundle and I love the idea that we can spread kindness. Keep doing what you love, everyone, and keep experiencing the joy of creativity. Bye-bye.